Konnichiwa, I am in Tokyo right now traveling, so I'm going to be bringing you some on-the-road trading content. What we're going to be doing is bringing you some more actionable insights on how to use volume profile day to day. We might end up doing these daily, but I'm going to break down the best trade setup from the previous day and also outline the next day's levels and also what we can expect to look for going into the next session. And because today is Sunday, after we break down this trade setup from Friday last week, I'll show you how to find the weekly levels and the next day's levels going into Monday and the week coming up here now. So first of all, I want you to look at this trade setup from Thursday, Friday. Now these breakdowns will help you to learn to identify where to find ideal volume profile setups and what kind of confluences to use to find the best trading opportunity with the volume profile. So what we're doing here is if we're looking at Friday, the best trade setup in my opinion on Friday came from the overnight session. The regular trading hours session, we kind of traded just within the lower range of the value area on the regular trading hours session. So there wasn't really much setups on Friday based off the previous day's levels. So you want to look at the overnight session here where there was some really, really good setups. We'll break down what I think is the one with the highest probability and the most confluences. So first of all, as you go into Friday and that Thursday overnight session and on into Friday, you want to identify the most recent regular trading hours session. So that'll be Thursday 9:30 through to 4 p.m. As soon as that 4 p.m. close happens, you can draw that profile and extend those value levels across going into the overnight session and going through Friday's regular trading hours session. So we've got that profile here drawn Thursday 9:30 a.m. through to 4 p.m. And then we've got the value levels on the chart. You got value area high, point of control, value area low, PD standing for previous days. So what we can see, first of all, based on that overnight open, is as soon as we opened overnight, we held right at the fair value level or point of control of that previous day. So what this tells me, number one, is that buyers like the price at fair value. Sellers were unable to push price below fair value. Therefore, going into that overnight session, we should start to look for potential long setups. So that's the first thing there, is seeing price hold at fair value. Second thing is, as price moved up through value area high, now the value area high is how you find true premium prices or expensive, relatively expensive prices. So depending on how price reacts at those expensive prices can give us a clue as to where price or the market is more willing to head next. We can see as we pushed up towards that value high and premium price point, we actually pushed right above and then held above, found support immediately and pushed above. So that value area high level, when it gets broken, you'll often find it acts as support. So we saw that happen, right? So that was number two. That value high area was broken and held as support. So what that's telling us so far is that, number one, sellers were unable to push below fair value. Buyers bought that price at fair value. So the market so far is showing bullish sentiment based on the volume profile. Number two, buyers are also buying at expensive prices. So the market's value is shifting upwards. We're finding that buyers are still willing to buy at premium pricing. Sellers are unable to overcome the buyers at that price. So now we've got a really good idea and a really good picture to see, okay, we're going to want to look for long setups. Now, the way we can really put the nail in this coffin here and find our perfect trade setup for a long is to use the developing profile. So let me just remove the drawings here so we can see clearly. What you want to do, you don't want to trade directly from these value levels. You can, but in my opinion, that's a bit too cross your fingers and hope. You want to have a third piece of confluence for the ideal trade here. So what you're going to do is use that overnight open profile. So from 6 p.m. when the market's open again overnight, you start a profile from there and you have it just extend as price develops. So after we broke this value area high, right, and we draw this profile across to where we'd be looking for our trade setup. So what you're looking for here with this developing profile is you're waiting for price to come down to a discount level based on developing value. So as price approaches, you can see the value area low developing is down here at this point. As time goes on, and price gets closer back towards the support level, you can see the value area is moving up. So what this is telling us, again, is confirmation that the market is finding value to be above premium prices. So that is where the market wants to move, is up. Value is being found above yesterday's fair value and above yesterday's premium price points. And what we're looking for our entry here is we're looking for price to approach a level of discount, relative discount, so we can get a favorable long position. So you can see as price finally came to the previous day's value area high level for that potential support, not only is it that previous day's value area high, It's also the current session's profile. See this profile here? It's the current session profile's value area low, which is a discounted price. So if we're looking for longs, we want to buy at a relative discount so we can capitalize and get the most optimal long position, which is why that is where you'd get your entry. You have two overlapping confluences there on that one area. You have previous day's value high and current session profile's value low. So what was yesterday's premium price is today's discount price, meaning that is the ideal spot you want to buy and get long. And from this point, your entry there is almost perfect. You have one tick of drawdown. Your stop loss, I would have my stop loss personally right down here just near fair value again, because if price broke back into yesterday's value area and traveled towards the previous day's value, that would invalidate the trade idea for me. So would have that stop loss resting just near fair value of yesterday. And take profit, I personally wouldn't set my take profit target any higher than the current session's value area high. So that's where I'd be targeting my take profit target. And now you can see price obviously ran up higher, reaching all the way into the highs here before the buyers finally lost their steam. But the logical take profit point is right there at the value area high of the current session's profile. That is a picture perfect long using the volume profile. And again, when it comes to trading volume profile, you want to base everything, your entries, your exits, all based off logical levels. You don't want to sit and pray and sit and hope. Hence why taking profit at that level is the ideal level to take profit, even though price went higher. And entering only at this overlapping confluence area is the ideal entry point versus trying to enter at the point of control of the current session or higher. Wait for it to get to that perfect overlapping confluence before getting your entry. So that is the best trade opportunity from last week's Thursday overnight and Friday session. Again, going into the regular trading hours session on Friday, there wasn't too much opportunity based off the previous day's value levels. Price basically came back into yesterday's value and actually held on the lower portion, so below fair value but above value lows. So there really wasn't much opportunity in here unless you're trading strictly the current session's profile, which there are methods to do that, but you want those high probability setups, you want both to overlap. Now going into Monday, if we clear all these levels, going into the new week and into Monday, you're going to want to look at the most recent regular trading hours session levels, value levels. So because we're going into Monday, what's the most recent session? It's Friday's session. So you're looking at Friday, 9:30 through to 4 p.m. And like I mentioned, it's a rather tight range of value here across this lower portion of the range. So here, these are our levels going into the Sunday overnight and then the Monday regular trading hours session. And then next of all is you want to get, because it's going into Sunday, Monday, you want the weekly levels, which are our high time frame, important levels of reference. So to get those, you get a volume profile. You start it at the very last candle of the week that just closed, and you drag that all the way back to the Sunday open or the very first candle of the previous week. And what that is going to do is draw a massive volume profile for the entire week that just passed. And then those levels there, you want to have those marked out. And I always put these in orange. So there are the weekly levels, which we will hold for the entire week coming up. We're going to reference those levels heavily for the week ahead. And then interesting to see also that the previous week's value level and the previous day's value level are both almost smack on. So we closed on Friday right at fair value for the week. So what we're going to watch going into Monday is to see how price reacts. Number one, do we gap above or gap below fair value? And we're going to want to see how price reacts to this point. It's likely going to be tested. So we're going to have to watch to see if it holds at fair value. If it does hold, we can start to look for long opportunities going into Sunday, Monday. Or if it opens below, we want to see it hold as resistance and potentially look for short opportunities going into Sunday, Monday. So that's what we'll be looking at going into tomorrow. And you let me know in the comments if you enjoy this type of more technical, practical breakdown. Like I said, I'm less trying to make these videos just for clicks and views at this point. I'm more just going into the actual practice of trading and what I'm doing day to day with the markets. So let me know if you find these helpful. If you want to get funded with Take Profit Trader or Apex, is the only two prop firms I do use at the moment. Aside from my own money, code CAMCAP, CAMCAP will get you the best discount with them. That link is in the description below, and you'll also find the link to my volume profile course also in the description. Otherwise, just tune into these. We'll try to get these out daily, and I'll see you guys in the next one.